I have, I guess, two questions. I guess, well, the first one's not necessarily a question. It's kind of, I guess, what I'm experiencing and what I'm going through. I'm getting better as far as, using that focus and actually realizing afterwards as far as what's coming out of it. It's actually really exciting. It's actually cool to actually see the process happen.
Yeah.
And then one thing I noticed, it's easiest for me on the smaller things. I guess you can say in the moment of something. And then my question is, can you ever want something so bad that you could actually convince yourself not to have it or doubt it?
Those were perfect words that you chose for the point that you're trying to make. If you want something so bad that it hurts.
Well, not hurts. I guess you could say, you lose the possibility, or you think that the possibility of it fades.
There is nothing that you can want that the universe cannot find a way to deliver to you.
Mm-hmm.
So if your question is there anything that I could want that my desire for it is so strong that the desire itself is preventing me from having it? The answer to that is no, never. But it feels like it. That's what Luke was trying to explain. He couldn't have wanted more to win one of those big things at the fair. He wanted it. But it wasn't coming to him because he wasn't in the vibrational place of allowing it to come. So when you start making the correlation between, you said just now, and we'd like you to describe a little more what you mean, things that are happening in the day.
Basically, at work. I work in sales, and then one thing I noticed, like the way you start your day off, if I started off great with the right mindset, I guess a best way for me to explain it is by putting my emotions in check. If I keep them in check, having a good day, knowing things are going to happen, it happens. Like one experience.
So we want to ask you, we'll hear your example because it's worth milking.
Well, like one example, I work at automotive sales, and then it could be challenging because you could have the whole day it could be almost a waste of your time, per se. And then as you go on those ups and downs, there's one instance where I just basically pull myself aside from everything, with the competition at work, and then just focus on something. And then within literally 15 minutes, it happened. It is literal. And the universe is responding in real time. And it is responding to the vibrational frequency that you've got going. And once you know that and notice it and deliberately keep your emotions in check is a good way of saying make sure of what disc you're on and milking it and hold yourself there. And once you then begin to notice the correlation between those feelings and what's happening, everything is exactly that way. And there are not big things and small things in the sense that small things, yes, it happens, and big things, no, it doesn't happen. It's all about the expectation that you hold. Okay. In other words, most people, we commented on that a little bit ago, most people, they will allow themselves the things they don't care about so much, but the reason is because they're not offering the negative momentum about them, and the reason for that is they're not thinking about it so much. So does that mean, Abraham, is what you're saying to us is that as humans, we are thinking sloppily? Yes. Does that mean that the things that we want the most, we're thinking about the most, but we're thinking about them in a way that won't let them come? Yes. You're thinking about the absence of them, not the presence of them. Or you're thinking about what you've done wrong rather than what the universe is yielding to you. And you just have to sort it out. It's really an individual thing. Words don't teach. It's surprising that we offer so many. But when you get on this roll where you know what you know, and we know you know, and you begin to deliberately be aware of how you're feeling and then watch what happens. Esther was so excited coming away from that fair because she wanted to say to everyone, especially to those who had just lived it, when you feel like that, that's what happens. When you feel like that, that's what happens. That's what happens. When you feel like that, that's what happens. So then the only question is, can I control how I feel? And the answer is yes. But then the next question is, are you willing to figure out how to control how you feel? Yeah. And you can do it. You get better and better and better and better at it. So what do you now know that makes it easier for you to apply this
that you maybe didn't know before you got here today, or that you maybe didn't know before you've been hearing some of this stuff from us. What you now know is that the universe is responding to your vibration and that you have control over your vibration. Mm-hmm. What you don't know is how good you will be at it and how fast you will be, how good you will be at it. But you won't know that until you try it, you see. Mm-hmm. And so this is the most wonderful conversation in the world to have as a teacher, because there is no evidence to the contrary of what we teach. So once you begin to formulate it in your mind, and you've established, yes, I do want to feel good, and I do differentiate the difference between a thought that feels good and a thought that doesn't feel good, and I am willing to go for the thoughts that feel better, and I did notice momentum happening depending upon whatever thought I chose. Mm-hmm. Now you begin to feel that feeling of invincibility.
It feels great.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes.
But my question is, for me, it's getting easier, I guess, like you said, for the moment, for the days. But, like, say, for example, because for my dreams, my aspirations for my future, I could see, myself building the foundation. I could see the roots grow. But since it takes a longer amount of time for things to happen, I tend to focus on the how. And then when I focus on the how, that's where it goes.
Well, don't do that. And even the word future is a tripping point, because what you're doing in the differentiation that you're making in your mind is today, simpler, future, more difficult. So you just introduced more resistance to the idea of future.
Okay.
And there is no future. There's only right now. There is only right now. You see, if we can make this point with you, we're going to give it everything Esther's got, because if you can hear this, you'll have it all. Through the life that you've been living, you've put all of those desires, you called them dreams and aspirations. You've put all those things that you want in that vibrational reality, in that vortex of creation, that vibrational version that has not manifested. It's there and it's real and it's now. It's not future. It's now. It's not future. Luke didn't have a future bad day at the fair. He had a now bad day at the fair. Kate didn't have a future good day at the fair. She had a now good day at the fair. It just kept yielding and yielding and yielding and yielding and yielding. She had so many stuffed animals, they had to make a trip to the car. And on the stage with Train, are you kidding? Are you kidding? And the t-shirt flying through the air right into her arms. In other words, she was not having a future good experience. It's a now good experience. Because the experience, everything that you want is so that you can experience the moment of resonance when you merge with all that you are. That's why you want every single thing that you want. Whether it's an empire that you're building, you want it for the feeling of the merge. Whether it's a new car that you're wanting, you want it for the feeling of the merge. A lover, everything that you want it for the feeling of that resonance merging with the source within you. Mm-hmm. And that's now, and that's now, and that's now or it's not. It's now or it's not. It's now or it's not, but it's your choice. It's now or it's not. Okay. So as you know that, and you reach for it now, and you accomplish it, and now, and you accomplish it, and now, and you accomplish it, then that feeling of invincibility isn't just about what's happening today, it's about what's happening forevermore. Then you just know things are always working out for me, and it doesn't matter what day it is, and it doesn't matter who I'm with, and it doesn't matter where I am, it doesn't matter how I'm going about it, nothing matters, because the universe has got all the components. The universe knows everything I want, because I put them one by 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 one into my vortex of creation. And the source within me has gathered all of those things up, and law of attraction is bringing all of those cooperative components, and so that's all done. All I have to do is find somehow, some way to find the resonance with that high-flying source. And now that feeling of oneness is mine. That feeling of well-being is mine. That feeling of goodness and clarity is mine. And all of the trappings will come too, which I will notice and enjoy as they come.
Okay. So that I understand it. So I guess not to say, so basically don't say it's in the future, because I've already, I'm starting to meet the right people. That's why that's where I could see the foundation.
The future is a wonderful thing because it's full of a whole bunch of days like today. But here's what we really want to say to you. Your future is going to be like you feel today. Mm-hmm. Ooh, your future is going to be like you feel today. Your immediate future, your mid-range future, and your longer-range future. Because the way you feel today is likely going to be the way you're going to keep feeling today because momentum is going to keep perpetuating the way you feel today. Oh. So, I want to get up and I want to get off on the right foot. Yes, I want to get off on the right foot because the rest of this day depends on what I do now. Well, not all of the day, but what's immediately coming depends on what you're doing now, and then now, and then now, and then now, and then now. All of your power is right here and now. You got the power to choose this disc or this disc, this disc or this disc, this disc, any of these, you've got the power to choose it. Which one are you choosing? And if you let that be what matters, everything else will take care of itself because you filled your future full of all of the pieces that you've already put into your vortex. There's enough in your vortex to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. That's quite a bit of future. That's quite a bit of future. What you're doing now. Ooh, that was a good statement, wasn't it? Your future is going to be full of what you're feeling right now. You see, it doesn't take much to be prophetic. Esther should have seen that windshield wiper ripping off her car coming. And when it came, it wasn't, oh, where did that come from? It was, well, that's a match. That's a perfect match. My future is before me and I can feel it now. But I have control over it because I can mold the way I feel with far less effort than the action that I've been applying to sort out the rightness and the wrongness of the world and defend my position. Mm-hmm. You see? Helpful?
Plenty. And then my second question actually is how we were talking about earlier about how I'm starting to recognize and realize as far as the power that I have. I guess the feeling, I could always say, yeah, I have 100% credit, but it also feels like there's a backing of it. Can you explain that kind of power, that backing of it that helps me?
The feeling of resources and support and help.
Yeah, that's that support. It's if you can, I guess, go further on that.
Well, you were source energy before you came into this physical body, and that source energy has been there for you ever since. Mm-hmm. And now you're in this physical body and you are sifting and asking, and every time you send off a rocket of desire, even though you're not a vibrational match to it, that momentum is then carried by the source within you. So everything that you have been becoming, the source within you has been maintaining the momentum of. And that momentum is that feeling of support and upliftment that you are talking about. Mm-hmm. So now the question is, are you in the vicinity of it? Are you a cooperative component? Are you in sync with it? Are you on the vibrational wavelength of it, you see? Mm-hmm. Because it's why we like that analogy of Esther's pond so much. That water had been clarified and was being offered back, but the clogged pipes were not allowing it to come. So that support, that empowerment, that clarity, that inspiration, that love, that knowing, that empowerment, it's always there for you, pushing right up against your valve. The question is, you got the valve closed or you got the valve open? Mm-hmm. The question is, what are you doing vibrationally, you see? Esther has been relating much more to this non-physical assistance since her husband Jerry made his transition into non-physical, because she can feel the preciseness of the attention relative to things that are important. She can feel that when she's tuned into that frequency, that clarity is not just the general clarity that she was accustomed to receiving from Abraham, but the precise clarity about the specific thing that she knows that he knows about. There is so much non-physical assistance in answer to every question that you've ever asked, available to you in this powerful now. It's part of the reason that we don't really want to encourage you to think too far in the future, because you've got everything that you could ever want pulsing to you and through you right now. Clarity about every single thing that you're open to right now. So really what this conversation is about is, how much am I open to? What am I open to?